Farmers in Washington state plant more than 300 cash crops, making the task of running a state Department of Agriculture a challenging one. This week, the head of the department is in Washington, D.C., pushing for the funding and support of farmers, what they really need. Sarah Mock has more from the NASDA Winter Policy Conference. She joins us now.
Well, marketing and international trade are top priorities for folks here at the National Association of State Departments of Agriculture, who are in Washington this week to work with federal lawmakers to get the resources they need to make 2018 a successful year for farmers. We're lucky enough to be joined by the director of the Washington State Department of Agriculture, Mr. Derek Sandison. Derek, what are you folks doing in town this week? What are your top priorities?
Well, a number of things. One, of course, Farm Bill is very much on everybody's mind this year. But as you mentioned, international trade is really one of the features we're most focused on. With NAFTA renegotiations occurring, and also a lot of activity with the recent adoption of the TPP-11 or Trans-Pacific Partnership, the partnership that went ahead without the United States. We're very interested and concerned about our ability to maintain our overseas markets and be competitive in the global economy.
When it comes to international trade, what are your top concerns for Washington farmers?
Well, again, I think we want to be competitive. I think we're always recognized as leaders in producing high quality food worldwide, and that's one of our selling points. But costs are very important. Tariffs, the level of tariffs and whether those tariffs are fair and treat us on a level playing field. The rest of the world is extremely important.
When Washington farmers are looking at that Farm Bill, what do you think is the most important thing that's going to help them, get through maybe a fourth year of bad commodity prices?
Well, as you know, the Farm Bill is extremely diverse in terms of its content and the areas that it addresses. In Washington, because we grow over 300 different crops and commodities, the specialty crop grant program is very important to us. The conservation provisions, the CRP and others are very important as well. Crop insurance is another feature that's important to our growers, making sure that again that they're protected from events that are beyond their control. Yeah,
of course, we also heard an important speech from the president last night, where he talked about a little bit about infrastructure, rural development's another big part of that Farm Bill. What are the key concerns for farmers and folks in rural Washington as far as that's concerned?
Yeah, one of our priorities in the Farm Bill is focusing on rural development, particularly rural broadband. But I think another area of infrastructure is water infrastructure. Our eastern part of the state, on the east side of the Cascades, is semi-arid. It's very little rainfall, very little precipitation, and we rely heavily on irrigated agriculture in those areas.
Again, it's great to be joined by Derek Sandison, the Director of Agriculture in Washington State. We'll have more updates for you throughout the morning. Until then, back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Sarah. And NASDA is hoping that Congress will make some big investments in animal disease prevention in the 2018 Farm Bill. They recommend a three-tiered approach that would include a disaster prevention program, an animal vaccine bank, and improvements to the National Animal Health Laboratory Network. Stay with us. Meteorologist Tim Ross has your forecast up next. We'll be right back.